Financial Freedom Now Show. It's another opportunity to bring you a lot of wealth of information that will transform your life and give you the financial freedom you need. My name is Toyin Ayandare, and today I bring great news, concluding the 7-step series that I've been on. And today we're going to be talking about how we can scale up and create long-term financial freedom. Now, I am conscious of the fact that, and if you're watching this, you would know that this is not the usual setting. But hey, that is what financial freedom and location freedom is all about, is the fact that I can be anywhere speaking to you, connecting with you, and that's what I want to help you achieve. So I hope you've been following the steps and you're ready to rock and roll. Like I said, and I've said previously over the last 7 series, building financial freedom isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong commitment. You don't just want a financial breakthrough just for a year or just for a short period. You want to build a lifestyle that lasts. And that takes vision, that takes systems, and that takes continuous growth. And so that's what we want to help you achieve. And that's what the whole series has been all about. Getting wealth is one thing. Staying wealthy is definitely another. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens based on the habits you build, the systems, the vision, like I mentioned earlier. You have started the journey because you're actually on this. Now let's make sure we get you taking actions and staying on the right path. So I'm going to be talking about this there's a few points I'm going to mention. So let's get right into it, because you know me by now. I try to get to the gist of it. I try to get you the information without any fluff, because I just believe go straight to the point. I am conscious of your time. I appreciate your time. I also want to make sure that you get the real value very quickly. So let's start off with the first point I want you to think about when it comes to actually scaling up, staying wealthy, building that consistent and resilient, is understanding the mindset that it's not. I want to take you away from just thinking about it as being a sprint. I just want to get there. I just want to get this money. I just want to get my first million, get my first billion, and then you sort of stop there. No, it's not a sprint. I want to get you from that sprint mentality to a marathon thinking. And I found this journey. I started this journey on my own, in the fact that when I started studying quite a few wealthy people. Initially, when I started my journey, I was like, oh, okay, I wanted to get this amount of money. I wanted to pay for my children's school fees. I wanted to do this. I had things that I was aiming towards. And once I got there, it almost felt like I sort of found myself stopping. And I had to study a lot of wealthy people to realize what are the habits they had built. And absolutely going from what I want to talk to you about today is the fact that they just thinking of sprinting. They're thinking of there's a long-term vision in everything they're doing. As a matter of fact, if something doesn't fit into the long-term plan, they wouldn't do it, no matter how much money it would bring them in the short term. And that was a mindset change for me. Just knowing that it's not about just the first £10,000 I want to get, or the first £1 million I want to get. How can I continue to get this £1 million? It's one of the things that helps me within my property journey. Now, this is not saying there's any difference in it. Any strategy is wrong. But when I started my property journey, I used to aim for just going for flips, because I just wanted that short burst, that money coming in, just seeing the large sum of money, and then really getting excited. But then really the value of that money was being eroded if I was not able to sort of get into on that project straight away. And that's when I realized that actually I was missing a trick by not buying properties and using the BRR model of actually keeping the properties and renting them out and getting that consistent cash flow. Now, I know this is not a property podcast, so I don't want to drag into the detail, but being a property developer and a successful one, that's, if I'm add, obviously I can, but add those tips here and there. But what is very key is many people work hard for a short-term win, and that's where they are leaving money on the table. But long-term wealth requires the planning, it requires the endurance. And trust me, guys, I've not been the most patient, or I'm not naturally patient, so I've had to start learning and relearning how to be patient. You've got to move away from that just awesome mentality and start thinking of, how do I build a strategy that runs the test of time? How do I build a strategy where I can actually pass this wealth I'm building to the next generation? All of those sort of things are the things you need to start thinking about. What would your finances look like 10 years from now if you stay on this path, if you stay on the start and stop path? And it's one of the questions that I asked myself in my 9 to 5. As much as I wanted to climb and I wanted to do, and again, like I said, it's not shutting down any particular strategy. It's just the things that I asked myself when I was going to go ahead and build my financial life. So yeah, that's the first point. I want to move from just thinking sprint to how can I build this on the go to the marathon thinking. The second point I thought we mentioned is what your financial freedom roadmap looks like. What does that actually look like? You've got to map out. So if you're moving you from a sprint to marathon, you need to start thinking, what does that financial roadmap look like? What do I want to achieve? I think I alluded a little bit when I was talking about the previous point of me moving from just buying properties from flips to actually from flips to actually moving to a more long-term strategy, or moving from just managing my 9 to 5 to actually building this. There were thoughts behind what was being done. What you need is to actually build a financial roadmap that works for you. So you could ask yourself, when are you going to be retiring? Excuse me. What does that look like? How do you want to replace your 9 to 5? Again, there's no right or wrong. Do you want to then build a lifestyle where you can live off your passive income? Do you want to leave impact to the next generation, or leave your inheritance? All of those things would determine how you start build that plan, and that's what helps you move away from just thinking short term. I just want to make this amount of money. So it gives you, it helps you start setting up that goals for the next 5 to 10 years. So that, which is the next thing you want to think of. I want you to start thinking of, how can I actually build a goal? What was my goal plan for the next 9 to 5? I don't know if you can see, if you want to be one of those people that actually, I just saw someone on the yacht there. That is the kind of life, and that is a prelude. But that's why I needed to turn my camera there. So apologies for those of you that are listening. I was just showing, there's actually another one, someone actually on their yacht, and then I've just seen another one now. What does that look like for you, and how does that fit into your plan? But when I talk about clear goals, it's more of, what does the next 5 to 10 years look like? What are my income goals in that time? What are my investment goals? And please know that when you're building these things, there's no right or wrong. It all depends on what you want, and what fits in. Because I think a lot of people sometimes ask, oh, when do we stop making money? When do we stop working? It's different for a lot of people. For me, for the most part, my work is intertwining with my lifestyle. I enjoy talking to you. I am you hosting this Financial Freedom Now show. I don't get paid from it directly by you listening, right? So, but I enjoy it because I enjoy helping people achieve financial freedom. So for me, this isn't work. But someone else is like, oh, that's a lot of time. I don't want to have to do anything whenever I'm at a particular age, or I don't want to have to do anything whenever I'm on holiday. But I can get myself away from work. Does that mean I don't have the right balance? Of course I do. So it's just understanding what your goals are. And the next thing you want to think about in terms of building your 5 to 10 year plan, you want to think about what are the emergency funds that you've got. If you've got any existing debt, you can actually add that into how you want to pay that. What lifestyle do you want to design? I just showed you a picture of someone driving a yacht. I'm in an accommodation that faces the lagoon, and I'm having to see beautiful things that's inspiring me into what I want to do. So what lifestyle do you want to design for yourself? What travel plans have you got? Do you want to give? What would you want to help? If you want to buy more properties, time freedom. If you don't define your version of freedom, someone else's life will become your default. And that's a very dangerous place to be. Now, let's quickly go on to the next one. The third point I want to raise is what the importance of financial education and you evolving. How does that fit into your plan? How does that help you stay consistent and build wealth and not be just a short-term success story, and that the way that really relates to is more of how you start thinking, what are you educating now? I must congratulate all of you listening to me, watching me, because when I talk about this, I'm talking about how are you actually improving yourself? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching? How are you actually making sure you continually learn? I mean, the fact that you're listening to this tells me that you're on the right path already. But I want you to go take a step further. Follow mentors, buy into their mentorship groups, buy into their mastermind groups. Look for ways to work with them. Trust me, it would pay off. Now, you are not able to say this very boldly because I don't want people to think I'm actually encouraging them to come to like our international business retreat, which has been transformational, by the way, or inviting them to join any of our programs. That's absolutely not it. But I'll be an hypocrite if I know that there's something that could help you and I'm not offering that to you. And matter of fact, when you follow those mentors, you attend events, you ask questions, you stay curious. It's not just about you getting something from the lead person. You have other people in the room that you could connect with. I have done that. I've joined ventured. I've worked with people that are in the room and have benefited from it, as well as actually being the one giving as well. And this is work rooms that I belong to, and I've seen the same thing happen within groups that I organize, and people have been able to work together and make things work for them. So it's really, really important. The other thing you want to do is you probably understand, you need to, why you need to grow with us is you want to understand that whatever you did at level 1 that got you to level 2 might not necessarily be what would take you from level 10 to level 11. So how are you improving yourself? You might be in the position where to get your first 10K, you just saved from your 9 to 5 and things were great. That's good. But if saving may not grow you the next 100K, you may need to invest to actually save. So you can't just stay put on one. Doesn't mean that you need to stop saving, but you just being able to manage it and build systems and people that will help you get to that next level, be it 1 million, be it 10 million, be it 100 million, doesn't really matter. Just having all of those systems in place. Okay, if you're totally new to this, like if you've noticed, one of the things that I've been doing in the 7-step series is I've always sort of looked at this from the perspective of whoever is new to business on their own, or new to financial freedom, new to this journey. I am mindful that your actions that you might want to take will be slightly for someone that is already a business owner. So if you are a beginner, what I want you to think is, I want you to think, how do I design a life with intention? How do I design my future with intention? As a matter of fact, I was speaking to someone today and the person was like, oh my goodness, Toyin, I wish I met you a while back. I wish I'd done all of these things you're mentioning a while back, because it feels like I'm late. I'm in my late 40s. And I'm like, girl, you just started. Life just started. And this is what I always say, whenever you wake up is your morning. Don't let anyone lie to you that you're late in the game. Just because someone else is looks like they've gone further, it doesn't mean that you cannot catch up or you cannot overtake. Everyone's journey is totally different. So for new beginners on this journey, what I would say to you is start off setting 3 goals. Set 3 goals for 1 year, for 3 years, or 5 years, whatever you're most comfortable with, or you can do all of them at once. Set goals to start with. Break down your big goals into small, actionable, measurable steps. I've heard of the SMART model before. Try and make sure those goals are quite clear. Just because the goals are for you, written to you, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be accountable to how transparent, how real it is, how breaking down steps are being measured. Because if you don't, whatever you don't measure, it doesn't grow. Honestly, it doesn't. But you also want to go a step further and building habits like regular investing. Review your finances monthly. Look at the costs that are going out. Don't run away from it. Continue to learn. Invest in books, podcasts, shows. Go for events. Invest in courses, pay for courses. Referred to, I can't remember the context, was like, oh, she spent a lot of time in YouTube in university, and then she finally decided to come off the fence and stop investing in YouTube investing, because she was actually for it the hard way, and obviously it's only based on what people would willing to share, and she decided to start investing herself. So I'm not saying you should become one of those course that just keep buying every new course and do nothing, which is absolutely not. But know that you are worth investing into. Your daily habits are the architects of your financial future. And for business owners who are looking to scale, with strategy, understand what sustainable growth means to you, and that might mean you need to delegate more, you need to create repeatable systems. One of the things I'm sort of doing in my business now is any task that we need to do that is repeatable, we want to create a system behind it that it's not necessarily is automated as much as possible, because there's no point doing the same thing and doing new information every time, new action, new push, new requirements whatsoever. And some of those things are very easily done in place. So the other thing you want to think of is, what of your income streams can you actually automate? What of my income streams can I automate? So, and if I can, I'll automate those income where possible. Just so I can, again, it just gives me that regular stream coming in. Build a strong team. Oh my goodness, the crucial thing. You cannot do this on your own. So you want to build a powerful team, a strong team that would support you, that will help you. And you also make sure that you're preparing for, if you're a business owner, what we could call as the dry seasons. Now, no business owner wants to have this, but depending on the nature of your business, it might mean a good example, for example, what came to mind, I don't know what that came to mind right now, is an ice cream van business. So in summer is the peak season. Doesn't mean that it doesn't make money outside of summer, but during summer is making so much money. But you cannot then plan your business on the fact that you're going to keep making that same amount of money that you made in summer in the thick of winter, because the product you're producing is not most so desirable in that period. So make sure you are preparing for the dry seasons, quote and unquote. Protect your profits by managing risk. Make sure you have insurances, diversify your revenue if you need to. You want to also build reserves for your business as well, just to cover the costs, similar as you would do in your personal life. You also want to make sure that you're covering the ground where possible. And then this is where your wisdom comes in. You've got to operate in a wise manner. It's not activity. No one rewards any business, any individual for activity. Everyone rewards you on the output. So make sure that you operate a lean but wise strategy. Okay. The other actions I wanted to talk about, one more action I wanted to sort of put in there is, I want you to build a wealth ecosystem. Your money, your network, your mindset, your routines, they must all grow together. If you find yourself that one of them is actually pushing ahead and the others are, then that's where you need to pay attention to. Surround yourself with people that would stretch you. That is so crucial. I mean, for a long time, I was comfortable and I was okay being the most experienced in the room. It got to a point I realized I wasn't growing, and I got frustrated, and I said I needed to change my network. Not because the last network wasn't good. It was just because I knew that I was top of the room. I wanted to be in an environment where I was being stretched, where I was being challenged, and just be able to push that forward. Like the Bible says, you want to work with the wise. When you work with the wise, you become the wise, right? So how do you make sure you constantly sit in rooms where they are considered as wise? So like I said, for beginners, you want to write down your 1, 3 year, 5 year goals across your income, your savings, your investment, and create a one next plan that you can take every single month. And for business owners, you want to audit where your current systems are. One is to be automated, one is to be delegated, what you can improve and scale on, and choose one of them to refine to start off with. Don't try and do everything at once. You can get overwhelmed. Do it in bits. That way, it becomes something that you can actually, you enjoy as you do it. Not only do you enjoy as you do it, also you are conscious that you are growing. Remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So we need to make sure that you build the foundation well and you actually grow with time. Okay, I hope I've been able to cover everything that I wanted to cover on this, because I think we've gone through the 7-step series and I think there's so much to learn from it. You might want to go back to the previous episodes of this to make sure you grab all of the information in there and you know exactly what you need to do for your journey and how you can build yourself. One thing you need to be clear is you don't have to stay where you are. It doesn't matter how long you have been there. You don't have to stay there. Financial freedom is not just for those that are lucky, because some people say, oh, you're lucky that this happened. It's for a lot of times, it's for those that are intentional, and every step you've taken over the next few weeks or you've taken in the past as well is proof that you are building something that would outlive you. And I think that's the crucial thing. You want to have built something that would outlive you. I hope that's been very, very useful to you. My name is Toyin Ayandare again. I love having you on here, and I'm thanking you for actually tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episodes where we'll be looking at another series. Now, before you go, you know what to do. You need to like this, subscribe, but most importantly, please share this with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. The more people that get this, the more encouraging it is to continue making sure I bring this show to you and keep the show on the road. Thank you very much, everyone, and I see you on the other side. God bless you.